Well, good morning, subscribers. I'm coming at you with a bit of a special episode from my own basement today. So I thought we could do a little special on how to paint like a pro and give you maybe some more confidence in changing the colors of your own house, because it's an amazingly cheap way to change stuff. So if we take a quick look at this room, nothing particularly special because I didn't really have a lot to work with, but you can see I got kind of a 3-color scheme going. I'm an anti-beige man, so this house was originally all done in like this off-white beige. Everything was flat white and lame, and now it's just sort of, it's been used for my music room since the beginning, where friends and I will come around and play music of questionable quality. So aside from the paint, the other change I made is changing from a single light that used to be here, and I've kind of just patched the hole where the light fixture used to pop through the drywall and put some plaster over there, which is still in progress of painting. And I replaced it with 2 simple track lights from Amazon. They were about $60 each, and they're totally configurable. You can move these heads around, slide them. You can even extend the track if you had a bigger room. So that's pretty nice too, because I really like this glowy pattern that track lights cause compared to normal lights. And just for comparison, let's take a look in this scary guest bedroom, which is going to be my next project. And we're trying to make this thing an accommodating place to hang out before my guests arrive at the end of this week. So do you see that shittiness of the light from the central light fixture? This is something that all cheap houses seem to come with. There's a light in the center of the room, and that's never a good place to put a light because it casts like light in all directions, which leads to an unpleasant feel. So this 1993 Builder Special needs to get some personality, which in this case just needs some cheap paint and light fixtures, and we'll see what we can do with this room, especially getting some details like make this bump out for the furnace vents a different color than the rest of the walls. I'm going to take off the insulation and add a curtain and open up that window, and then finish it off by adding some bed sheets and making a reasonable place for my guests when they get here. Let's see how it goes. All right, so because this room is so tiny, we really don't need much equipment to do it right. Normally you'd be into a ladder and a bucket and a bunch of other tricks I could show you later, including like a roller on a stick, which is a huge shortcut for bigger rooms. But here we're just gonna bust this room out carefully and quickly and focus on starting with the lightest color first. Black bells ring out for... So the next trick is this first of the edges. Now the cool thing is this overhangy part's going to become green afterwards, and this wall is this light brown color, so I don't have to do this edge perfectly until I'm doing it for the final line, which is going to be the green color. So I can just cut in with a brush a little bit sloppily, and that saves the work of doing the line twice. It's kind of crazy. We have this whole little wall done already, and I've spent like a total of 10 minutes, including the time messing around with this camera that you are in. So it's amazing how fast a wall can be to paint once you know what you're doing. So the next stage is I'm not going to paint the green until at least later today or tonight, even preferably tomorrow, because we're going to be needing to stick a piece of tape to this brown paint. So we want to make sure it's not just dry, but super like kind of tough and dry, so we don't rip it off with the special painter's blue tape. Now along the baseboards, it's kind of up to you how you handle it. If you have thick, nice baseboards on your house, it makes sense to put a piece of tape down along the baseboards and use the technique that I've not showed you yet to get a super nice tape line. In this house, I have crappy old baseboards that I'm probably going to replace later anyway, so I just need a quick and dirty paint job. And I'll just try to like paint by hand and try not to get too much on them and see how it turns out. I've been doing this for the rest of my house, and it's been fine so far. Old man, he made a sound with a word. He put them young guns down. Will they ever be bothered to listen what was Okay, now is where the rubber really meets the road. We're gonna do 4 steps across each line of the ceiling. It's where you tape it, caulk it with white caulk, you'll see what that means in a second, paint it, and then rip off the tape within about 10 minutes while everything is still like soggy. So it rips off to give you a really straight line. You can check it out. So when you're placing this tape, it's better to have the wall wrap a little bit onto the ceiling rather than vice versa, because your eyes are usually down at room level looking across at this joint. And if you have a little bit of your white ceiling showing on the wall, that'll show up as a bright white line, whereas if your wall comes up onto the ceiling, that's pretty well hidden. So I'm gonna place the ceiling just like a 32nd of an inch. The tape will be just a little bit onto the ceiling, which will make it so that our line is up there. So with this stuff, your goal is to squeeze the tiniest amount into the crack from the angled tip, which you set to be at this kind of angle, and then squish it with your fingers so it's even thinner amount, and then paint over that, and then rip off the tape. We'll do all 4 steps at once right here. And then for the moment of truth, you can check my clean lines, we hope. Damn. Looking good. This next part is going to make the video worth the price of admission just by itself if you don't know this trick. So cleaning up your roller is often an arduous and unsatisfactory task if you try to do it in your kitchen sink or whatever. But with a garden hose, using my patented spin out method, it comes out brand new and really fast. So you can just check out how it does. The idea is you get the sucker as clean as you can with normal spraying, and then you do the following thing. Now it's true that it could be a little bit refreshing at times, but I would say it's worth it because you save a lot of time and you get this brand new roller out of it. And just make sure you don't do it with brightly colored paint in an area where you care about paint splatters. So a nice gravelly area like this side of my house is good. And so here we are in the finished product. It's been about 5 days since I shot that last bit of video, so I've already had my big weekend come and go. I've had 2 couples pass on through my house as guests, and they use this room quite happily, so I'm pretty happy for its performance so far. I'll just give you a quick look around here to see how it turned out. It's really, really simple. It's just paint and light is all I did here, and of course blankets and pillows. So I was in a rush, so I just did a single light fixture, but I used a track light, one of those $60 deals, which still gives us a lot better light than that scary thing you saw earlier. And then here's our tidy, just our quick accent bump out that makes this room a little bit less bland. And of course I threw some curtains on so you don't see the unsightly basement window well and you can sleep in a little bit better. And the real thing that's great about this room is I spent a total of maybe $100 on it. $60 for the light fixture and maybe 40 bucks worth of paint, and everything else was negligible. And if you're thinking about the value of a house like this, like a $350,000 or $400,000 house, having a bedroom go from bland to like usable is already going to be a multi-$1,000 improvement. So that's a huge return on the investment. I spent a total of maybe 3 hours doing all this work, which means it's like something you can get done before lunch on a weekend. So it's a great project to check into yourself.